Alright, so One Piece chapter 1031 just released, and it was an absolute banger. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Oda's a mad fucking genius, bro. I swear to God. I did be complaining about Sanji for like, what, 10 chapters now? Because of I'd be like, he's doing something cool, but like, remember what he did in Act 2? I didn't like that at all. But they addressed it here, and he's actually changing, not for the better, but it's like he's changing for the worse, and he's like, I can't let that happen. But in the process, he's also changing something else as well, which I think is good as well. We'll talk about it in more detail later on because that's what this is mainly going to be about. The Sanji stuff. We're going to talk briefly about the kid-in-law stuff, and then we're going to touch on some Yamato stuff near the end because there is some really cool stuff looking like it's happening with Yamato, and Zoro looks like he's going to get some good shit. All right. Um. So basically, what we saw was practically Big Mom's awakening. So she comes out and she's like, "You guys are actually good. I haven't felt this much pain in decades." Which people are saying is that Roger, but that could be Rocks, right? You know, because I would have assumed the way he was talking, he didn't have to fight Big Mom, Roger, I mean, in the flashback. So it's probably Rock she's talking about, but she takes some of her own life to use as power, which makes her like gigantic, probably bigger than Kaido. Now that's the thing, right? How big can she make herself, right? Because by her ability, she's probably an ancient giant sized character, I'd assume. Like, how big is it? Is it ancient giant size, or is it just giant size now? Because she's what, 68 feet? Is that what she is right now? 68 feet? And then after that, she's probably like, I'd say 80 feet. I'm assuming, we didn't really see. But it was really cool. We see more of Big Mom's powers, which looks like her awakening. So that's really cool. And they also refer to, you'll see what a fight between emperors is really like. So that's really cool. My only issue with this fight so far is that Law and Kid have twice mentioned, alright, like, no time to hold back. You mentioned that last chapter, and now you're doing that again. You shouldn't have been holding back against the Yonko to begin with. I realize Kid said it, so it could just mean, you know what, I'm feeling up to it now, boys. No more headaches. It could just mean that, but it's still annoying in the way it was worded. Although I will say, I love how they're reinstating Law's goal. They kind of put him out of the king race. He's like, I just want to see the ancient history. So it looks like he might stick with the Straw Hats. I have an opinion on what Law is going to do after this arc. He might stick with the Straw Hats, but I don't think he's going to abandon his crew. So I just think it's going to be a thing where it's like, Luffy's going to put Law in charge of like the Grand Fleet or some shit. I honestly think that's going to, something like that. He's going to like be like, alright, Straw Hat, like, I'll join your stupid Grand Fleet or whatever. Or maybe not. Maybe he's like, I'll keep it in check. I don't think he's going to try and put himself beneath Luffy in any way. I just feel like he's going to realize now, okay, if I want to get what I want, I should somewhat stick with this guy. I don't think he's going to stay on the ship. Because, honestly, man, I don't see him abandoning his crew for a third time. Unless Beppo becomes a Straw Hat, that could totally work. No. But it was a very good chapter in that regard. There was a lot of other good stuff we'll talk about now, but I want to, for the main part of this, talk about the Sanji stuff. So we see Sanji, basically, we cut back to him, and he's in a room alone with a tea lady, right? And a tea woman lady, I think. Like those type of women, in like medieval times, you'd have a woman who like just sits there and kind of holds your tea. She looked like that type of woman, but she was like hiding from the Beast Pirates because she was obviously brought here to do that job and probably some other weird shit. But and it says, oh, how could you do this? You were all alone with her and you hit her. And so obviously Sanji doesn't remember this, and we get some flashbacks to what happened, and like she talked to him, and then he cuts out, and then all he remembers is what's happening right now. So he's like, oh shit, am I becoming like them because of the raid suit? And we actually see something which was pointed out to me, actually. His fucking eyebrow is turning the other way, just like his brother's, which is a fantastic fucking attention to detail, actually, for Sanji, to see how he's changing. And this is what I love, right? Oda does an amazing job at making me care for Sanji. Put it like, I'd be like, all right, he's either top or bottom, and like this is the type of thing where I'm telling you right now, he's back up. He's back up there. I'm sorry. I love I love Robin, okay, I love her, but like, come on, bro. This chapter, he literally was like, "All right, I know I've been a bit of a, I know, but I can't stand this anymore. I can't stand becoming like my siblings, right? No more, no more raid suit, no more bathhouse." He literally says, "No more bathhouses." So we're not gonna get any more of that shit. Thank you very much. I'm very happy about that. We're not going to get any more of that shit, so I'll write it off. It's a one-time fucking thing. Alright, we'll write it off, especially because they address it. He says no more of that shit. So we're good. We're good. We're just going to go back to the kind of pervy jokes, not too intrusive jokes. So that's alright. I'll take those. Yeah, I can deal with those and still like Sanji. So we get that shit. Really cool, really manly shit. He's like, nah. And I love the part. I love the kind of... I love the kind of inner monologue, soliloquy type thing where he's talking to himself and he's like, what type of person would the Pirate King want? And it's not made clear what his decision... Well, it is made clear what his decision is, but he makes it sound like Luffy would want him to be a monster, which is stupid. But also, he does decide in the end, oh, I'm going to destroy it. So he does ultimately... Whole Cake has made him understand Luffy cares about him, bro. If you want to get rid of the raid suit, he's not going to care. You're his mate. He's going to take... He needs you. He needs you there. He doesn't need some superpowered beast. He needs Sanji. Also, he's so annoyed about taking the Vinspoke name. Why doesn't he just take his mother's name? I don't know if she has a surname, but like, surely he can just do that. But that's just my opinion. We need to find out his mother's name at some point, or like her surname, so he can just take that. But that's just me. And he destroys the raid suit, which I think, alright, that's cool. I see where Oda's going with this. There's two ways he could go with this right now. We could either have it where we're able, his mother's medicine kicks in, so he's able to keep his actual emotions, and he still gets the power up, but like that's it. Like he's not going to get any more advantages. And it could literally just be the extra power, like the hardness of the body type thing he gets, which I think that would be a cool upgrade, honestly. But I feel like the more thematically relevant thing is probably his mother's thing activates after a while and he completely goes back to normal. No upgrades whatsoever. And I mean, that will annoy people in general. But what I could see happen is like, oh, the muscle memory of this shit is kicking in and his muscles are generally a lot stronger from that. Even though he lost it, the basic strength of his muscles are still stronger because of the muscle memory type thing. I can see that happening, but I'm very excited to see how it goes. Sanji is back up on top. Those moments were fucking class with him basically deciding, man, I know what Luffy wants. I know what the Pirate King needs. He doesn't want some tyrannical woman hitting bastard. Which, by the way, if it turns out he did actually hit that woman, I understand where Oda's going with this, and I understand some people want him to be able to hit women in terms of, like, you know, combat, because whenever he's in combat with an enemy pirate crew and, like, there's a woman he has to fight, he just doesn't. Which, I mean, man, like, nah, he needs to keep that trait, bro. Honestly, it wouldn't be Sanji if he was all about hitting women all the time, especially like that. I understand they're portraying it as negatively, but if he actually did, it's like there has to be some way, because the way they portrayed it is very vague to make it seem like he may not have done it. So I feel like he didn't in the end, so I think that's going to be great. But I'm wondering at the same time, who is the one that's going to help him realize he's still himself? That's what I want to know, because it's not going to be Queen, and there's no one on his floor, so unless he runs into Nami, I feel like Nami of all people should be the one to do it, because I feel like him and Nami are very heavily associated with each other. She was a heavy focus in Whole Cake Island, and she was the heavy focus of him trying to redeem himself to the Straw Hats by him redeeming himself to Nami. She was ignoring him after he came back, being like, oh no, what you did was ridiculous. And she was the one to reprimand him when he beat up Luffy. You know, so obviously he cares a lot about her opinion, and she's heavily tied to him. So I feel like it'd be right if Nami is the one to show him he's still himself. And I would even like if they did a thing where they have Nami kind of smile in a certain way or pose in a certain way, during the thing where it's reminded, oh shit, my mom, and he remembers his mom and remembers what she did for him, and that's what kind of keeps him in the right mindset. I feel like that's good for Sanji. I feel like that will work very well. You know, having that. I think this is good, right? Because that's the thing about these characters. You don't often see their ideas challenged, their ideals challenged, or certain thing, or change in a certain way. He's fighting to keep his ideals, which I really, really enjoy. I think as long as like they tone down on the gags for the rest of the series, I can forgive the two bad moments I find. Like even right, okay. I know I go on about this all the time, but I am gonna say it one more time. People give out about Fishman Island, and Fishman Island was weird, I will say. But thematically, I understand it in a sense because he hasn't seen a woman in like 2 years, and that does something to a man sometimes. But he's not too bad. He just goes up talking to people and has a nosebleed every time they look at him. Like it's nothing too bad. It's literally just a nosebleed. It's not like a thing where he's like groping anyone or anything like that. It's not weird or it's not peeping in bathhouses or shit. It's not like that. So I don't find Fishman Island that bad for his character. I find it bad as like a story plot line, but not as his character, no. Unless I'm forgetting something, you can correct me. And even the stuff with the the mermaids, they were all doing that. So that was all kind of consensual shit. So it's nothing too bad. So I don't think Fishman Island was as bad as like Thriller Bark or Act 2 of Wano. Like those are the two moments that really stick out to me to really bad moments, you know what I mean? But everything else, like all the other gags he has are like really, really kind of I don't like the type of gags, but at the same time they don't ruin his character for me, so it doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes they can be funny. But like the original ones where like he'd like have hearts in his eyes and like bring food to people. They were funny. The rest of them weren't really, but they were. Anyway, I've been going on tangents about this for ages. This is why I love the chapter, because they specifically say no more raid soon, no more bathhouses, so we're not getting that shit anymore. Thank you very much, Oda. Thank you very much. Sanji is back on top. We get peak Sanji character and peak rid of the shit gags. We'll get gags, but not the shit ones anymore, hopefully. I'm praying, boys. Also, when this comes out in the anime, we get oh, I can't do the fucking music. I feel so bad. Oh fuck! I can't do that music. I can whenever I start to do the jazz music, it just turns into overtaking because I'm so shit. I mean that could be, but I'm looking forward to like the epic shit with the jazz music and stuff. This is a very exciting chapter for me with Sanji. There's so much to talk about. I feel like the Nami stuff is gonna happen, where like Nami's the one to keep him in check again, because I feel like that's kind of her role in the recent few things with like each Straw Hat has a role with each character, right? And when it comes to Sanji, that's her role. Like she has other roles with the other Straw Hats and plot general roles, but whenever it comes to Sanji, she's always the one to kind of keep him in check. And I feel like that's good to me, to be honest. I think that's good. I'm pretty happy with that. I hope it's executed well. I'm looking forward to it. And the Queen fight was really fucking well drawn this chapter as well. The Hell's Memories. People are saying it's back, but I don't remember where it was from, and I apologize for that. I know I'm a dum-dum, but hey. Yeah, Sanji shit. Oh man, I love Sanji again. He's back up to my number 2 spot. Luffy is never toppled from that spot, and I'm sorry. I like when I say like top, that's like there's like if we were going tier list, if you like, there's F to S tier, and then there's just Luffy tier. Like that's a whole other tier, and it's not like the other tier list where it's like, oh well, a few people can go up there. Nah, it's just Luffy. I Luffy will never be toppled as my favorite character of the series, to be honest. But I'd say Sanji's back. Sanji's back over Robin for a bit. Now, if we get another disgusting gag, I might put him back down. But for now, he's over Robin again. Oh man, I can't make final decisions on this right now. But anyway, more entertaining stuff from this chapter though, with the numbers. Drake just doesn't do what I thought he was gonna do, which was play along with Apu and then kick him in the head and beat the shit out of him, or just wait for the Marines to get here. He just doesn't play along with him. He's like, fuck you, I'm gonna kick your ass now. Which I can respect. I can respect that. I am loving Drake this arc. I really am loving Drake this arc. He's just kicking some ass and being like the straight man. I really like that. The straight man to all this wacky shit. He's just like, I'm not taking your shit anymore, man. Nah, fuck off. I'm just gonna beat you up and then do my job. Like, that's kind of, I respect that. Respect that shit. And the numbers, alright? It looks like the numbers are the three samurai, because they reacted to Yamato and tried to stop Apu from getting to Yamato, so it makes perfect sense now. Do I feel like we're going to realize that it's Zoro's dad and they're going to have a discussion? No. But I do feel like then he is going to one of the numbers, if they are Zoro's dad, is going to react to Zoro in a way. It's not going to be it's not going to be pushed on, because we know we were going to find out something about Zoro's lineage. But in an interview, I don't know if it was an SBS or just a regular interview, Oda had said, I'm not going to put a big vocal point on it. So we're not going to see Zoro and the number that could be his father interact at all. That's never going to happen. Actually, speaking of that, we got a lovely, lovely chapter cover with the first mates, with the right-hand men. And boys, Beppo got in. But no, funny enough though, I was like, okay, is this like a hint for who's coming to Wano? Because I thought Ben Beckman was Smoker for a second. I was like, is that Smoker? I mean, and then when I realized it was the right hands, the first thing I thought wasn't, oh, it's Ben Beckman. The first thing I thought was, is he now Akainu's right hand man? I don't know, man. That's I don't know. That's my own bad for thinking Smoker was Beckman, but alright, or Beckman was Smoker. Yeah. I do think that it may be like a small little hint, because we got most of the right hands here. People are saying Shanks is going to come to Wano, and you know me with my idea of, remember that cover story where Bartolomeo went to the island and burnt down the Shanks flags and put the Luffy flags there? When he's captured, and Shanks is probably going to check up on him because it was Luffy flags, he's going to realize Luffy's Vivro card is damaged, and he's like, I'm heading off, and Shanks might be coming with him in that regard, because maybe he knows shit, he's going to Wano. And then maybe we get Ben Beckman showing up. I don't know. Everyone else is there. It could also hint at the fact that we kind of know there's a Blackbeard spy at Wano, I think. I remember it being mentioned at some point. So that could be Shiryu. I was always going with Aokiji, especially with people saying, oh, it's the pheasant theory, the blue pheasant, the Momotaro legend, which doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm not pushing for that now, but I did think it was Aokiji at some point. But yeah, it's a very, very, very banger chapter. I love this chapter. Absolutely adored it. Loved it. So many cool shit to think about and theorize about. And Sanji's back, baby. Back on top. Love that, man. Hopefully he stays there. But right now, he's back on top. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oda, you make me hate a character. You make me love him one arc. You make me hate him another arc. And then you make me love him again. And then man, just please stop torturing me like this. Come on, man. I meant to say, I completely glossed over this. You see, this is why people love Zoro and Sanji's dynamic. Because he calls him up being like, man, if I'm not myself, just kill me at the end of this, right? And Zoro's like, yeah, sure. Just make sure you don't die beforehand. I want to have the pleasure of doing that. And I love that shit, man. That kind of close relationship. I always love that kind of shit. That kind of bromance, friendship shit. I love that shit. Where it's you're so close that you can ask them to kill you, or you can ask them to do anything, and they're like, yeah, man, but take care of yourself, yeah? That shit, I love that shit. Zoro and Sanji, Zoro versus Sanji is so cool because of that relationship. And people get so heated on it. I love that shit. I find it hilarious when people get heated on it. I just don't care. I really don't. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Zoro's cool sword guy. Sanji's cool foot guy. With flames. Alright, like, come on, bro. Andy's a chef. Alright, we're not power scaling here, but chef beats swords to me, right? Like, yeah, you can be cut with swords, but he can just burn Zoro with a stir fry. So, we're all good. Get a bit of boiling water, go higgle you. Oh no, sorry Zoro, I flipped my pan over your head and it was boiling water. Oh, sorry. You can't use your swords because the oil got your hands all slippery. Oh, sorry about that, man. You see? That's how it works, bro. Ah, no. Banger chapter again. Loved it. Fantastic chapter. So many cool shit to happen. I just haven't been talking a long kid because there's been so many cool things happening. I might talk about like the awakenings and shit some other point, which I will. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going into surgery next week, so there will be a chapter 1032. But maybe not 33. I might, because I might still be in hospital then, and then when I get home and I'm bedridden, I'll try and set it up where I can still talk and do this shit. But if not, it will just be short and stuff. And I have some stuff lined up, so there won't be no content. But if you know One Piece stuff, there will be one, but I haven't recorded a lot of One Piece stuff for backups. It's just other different types of content. You know, the stuff I used to do over the summer, where I'd have my Wednesday video be like something that wasn't One Piece, and then the chapter review would be on the weekend. It's gonna be content like that for now, because I wanted it to be more evergreen, because I wasn't gonna be up to date with stuff, so there was no point in me making videos on topics that I wouldn't be able to, keep up with or would be outdated. Anyway, yeah, I actually remembered to bring tea this time, so we're gonna end it like a legend once again.